Alright, I want to go in a little more detail of how to trim your aquarium plants. And I spoke of a little bit in my last video of the update, but I didn't really say anything about how I actually do it. So, for most plants that I have in here, the maintenance of trimming and cutting is really easy, and it's actually kind of fun because what you're essentially doing is creating more plants. Because what I did for these baby tiers is, you see how some of these are getting a little taller. I snipped them in half with I use these tools. You can just use regular scissors. I use these little tweezers, scissors things for I don't know what they were for, but they're not for plants, but you can easily snip with these. So you just snip off the top half and plant it anywhere you like, right next to the other one. So I created about a dozen new stems, and you can do that as often as you like. A lot of plants like being trimmed, and then you can get a nice carpet going a lot faster than you would just letting these grow really tall. You can't really trim, you can't do that with grass-like plants like these dwarf sage and the crypspiralis, jungle val. Those kind of propagate, they create more plants by sending off little runners that sort of like this one and this one. The jungle val is sending off a bunch back there. So those kind of do that for themselves, and you can sort of trim those runners off the main plant. There's usually like an umbilical cord sort of stem going in between the two. You can snip that off eventually, and you'll have a brand new plant that you can put anywhere you like, so that's nice. Rotella, this stuff I really had to hack down a little bit because it was getting way too tall. It was coming out of the water and kind of falling over each other like it is right now, but hopefully it straightens up eventually. And what you can do for these larger stem plants is, well, you have a couple options. The first option would be to just trim off the top and throw it away. That's probably the worst option. Second option would be to trim some of the top off, then pull out the bottom piece and put the top piece where the bottom piece was. So you're just using this section of the plant and ripping out the bottom part with the roots. That's what I did on these back here, partly because there were no leaves on about half the stem due to them being lost in the transplanting of and the shipping and all that. So hopefully now they'll grow all the way up with leaves covering the entire stem instead of just half of it. Now on the ones that did have leaves already and they didn't lose any on the entire stem, this is the third option. All you can need to do is snip off the desired amount and plant that top part right next to the bottom part, or wherever you like. So you're just doubling the number of plants as you trim them, and they will grow back. Even the ones that you cut off here, you kind of hacked off the top, these will start to bunch off in a more of a bush-like manner. So that's what a lot of people do. They hack them down real low, and then they get more of a fuller jungle-like section. And another plant that I did trim are these Anacris. These things you'll need to trim a lot because they grow over an inch a day. they even grow overnight, I've noticed. So soon these two will be all the way up to the ceiling, like these three were. I cut them down about 2/3 of the way, and they will start to branch off. There'll probably be 2 or 3 coming out of this, sort of like this one did. You can see there's 2 right there. But all I did was I snipped it off and replanted the tops right next to them. So we have 3 new Anacris stems just from 1 week of growth and trimming. I did not trim the Ludwigia yet because it's not tall enough. It is growing though, so eventually I'll be able to do the same with that. You do not need to really trim Java Fern or Anubias. You can propagate it by snipping the rhizome in pieces, and then that'll just start to grow as individual plants. I sort of prefer the larger Java Ferns that I have now, so I'm going to leave them be. And that's all you really need to know about your maintenance and trimming of the plants. And you may be thinking that this is a lot of work, but in reality it's actually a lot of fun, and you get a lot of new plants just by cutting and replanting. In fact, I probably got over $50 worth of plants just this week by cutting, replanting. 3 new stems of that stuff, probably about 6 new stems of Rotella, a dozen stems of baby tears, 5 jungle val runners, a couple runners of dwarf sag, 1 runner off the Crypspiralis. So that's a lot of new plants, and you don't have to buy any of that. In fact, you can sell those if you are running out of room or prefer not to add anywhere in your tank. Most local fish stores will take them for maybe an in-store credit or cash, and you could also sell them on any aquarium site like Aquabid, or just sell them on Craigslist, eBay to your friends. So there is some money to be made with aquarium plants. And that's all. Thanks for watching.